Hey, everybody, how are you doing? Hope you're doing okay tonight. Under the circumstances, I understand that these are beyond trying times. I mean, these times are new, right? The guides say we've never been here before. The astrology says we've never been here before. So I'm going to pretty much say we've never been here before. We've been in all the different parts of this, right? We've been in the Germany part of it. We've been in the Sarajevo. We've been in the South Africa. We've been in the civil rights. We've been in the Civil War, the Revolution. We've been in all these places before, but not all together. I feel like we're doing it all together in one timeline, right? So I hope you guys are doing okay. I've been seeing your questions. I start a bunch of them, meaning I can go back and find them, which is helpful. I want to say thank you so much for joining me tonight. And I want to say also that I'm going to be, taking your questions live. Thank you for the pink. I don't know you all. Two things. I'm in my yes era, so I'm going to try to say yes to things that I normally wouldn't say. That does not mean chocolate or cheese. Those are off the table, but also pink. Pink is like, pink is a thing. I don't know. So, let's see. I want to say, uh, I really want to wait for the juicier stuff until everybody joins us because then people are like asking me to go over it again. You know what I mean? And I just, went over it, right? You hate pink. I love it. I'm not a fan of pink, especially this is kind of bubblegum pink, right? Like, I don't know, you guys. I'm just expanding the edges of my comfortability is what the guide said. I'm expanding the edges of my comfortability. That is like, what does that even mean? Like, that is not something I would say. But that's something they would say. So that's good. Yeah, hello from Asheville. I hope you're doing okay. Asheville, you went through quite a bit last year, I think it was, and hope things are better. We're going to talk about Nancy Guthrie. We're going to talk about Iran. We're going to talk about the withdrawal from Minneapolis. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about, you know what? Somebody came up with the best acronym for ICE, and it's FICE, FICE, FICE. FICE. I think we should just call them FICE. I just think that that's a great acronym, right? Thank you all. Well, you know what? If you don't like the pink, wear sunglasses. Just go out to the car, find your sunglasses, or some of you might even need welding shield. If you got like a little welding shield, put that on, right? It'll dim it a little bit. It'll definitely dim it. FICE, yes, FICE. I do want to say thank you to all my awesome moderators. Thank you guys for showing up and helping me out, and thank you for everybody who's watching. What is FICE? Well, ICE is the thugs who are going around and attacking citizens as well as everybody. And F is the F word. So put them together and you got FICE. And I think that's not a bad moniker for them, right? Yeah, yeah. I mean, I usually look better in coral rather than pink, but it is, oh, Venus Day. Oh, hello. And it is Valentine's Day is coming up. So, I don't know. The guides were like, wear pink is Valentine's Day. And I'm in the yes era. Okay. Just watch. Just watch me say yes. Um, Thank you guys. Yeah, hello everybody. Let's see what we want to start off with here. There's a whole bunch going on, and you guys have had a lot of questions. Hey, from St. Croix. I'm sure it's beautiful there. I hope it's beautiful there. And what do you see? Let's see, lawyer says, what do you see for attorneys in AI and job security? Well, I mean, honestly, the guides were like, you're going to have more job security than ever because people are going to, you know what they just said? I'll tell you in a minute. But people are going to use AI for lawyers. They're not going to use a lawyer. They're going to use AI. They're going to get in a lot of hot water. The guides are saying, not something I would say. You're going to get a lot of hot water, and they're going to hire you, or they're going to hire another attorney who's going to have to reverse or extricate them out of that hot water. So and also they're saying, some attorneys might get into hot water as well using AI. And AI is here, among other things, to teach us discernment, right? Like you could use AI to find recipes or, but you want to make sure that when it says to cook the chicken at 250 degrees for 30 minutes, that you don't believe that, that you know, that you have some discernment, right? This is all this whole era is about discernment, right? Think about it like this. We have the thugs out there covering their faces. We can't discern who they are. The laws are like Swiss cheese. We can't discern if we have rights. We don't even know what laws we have anymore. So I feel like attorneys are basically going to be okay. Now, they're saying there are big corporations, or big, I mean, corporations that hire, like, have 100 attorneys. Those departments could be smaller because they're using they're using it in a effective way to be more, what is that word? To be more, when you get things done faster, you get things done more efficiently. So, you know, it is going to have effect on all of us, right? But like on regular attorneys, I don't see that. I think it's going to have a bigger effect on teachers, honestly, professors, because I see, and I've talked about this before, but I see that colleges are going to use AI to teach classes. They're just going to actually have an AI, a generated person, teaching a curriculum. Uh, I know it sucks. Don't yell at me. Don't yell at the screen. This is universities trying to save their university and not paying attention to how they really could save it, and instead grabbing the thing that they think, you know, everybody thinks AI is going to fix everything for everybody, but it's not. Um, so if you're a college professor, for so many reasons, and I mean so many reasons, I'm not telling you anything new, but for so many reasons, it might be time to really think about plan B, or figure out how you can maneuver through this, because colleges or universities are about to be hit very, very hard, harder than they already are. Okay. Then the other thing the guides were telling me, which is kind of funny, but it's really not. It's really not funny at all. It's kind of like, no, it's not funny. But they thought it was. And that is that there is the guides want to call it an outbreak. They're cracking me up. It's an outbreak of people using AI for spells, for witchcraft spells. And their point was that professional witches are going, and whoever you are, right? Like, it could be any number of types of people that do this kind of work. They're going to be in there, you know, like healers are going to have to go in and heal people. People are going to use this like it's literally a genie in a bottle and a magic wand, and they're going to just do things that energetically have consequences, and that could be a problem. So don't pull an AI spell off of whatever it is that you're using, Claude, Gemini, AI chat, whatever it is, and whip it out and do something, because that energy, you're working with something that's powerful and real. And you know, it's sort of, the guides are saying, you don't want someone that learned how to do surgery using AI to operate on you, and that's the only education they had, right? So we don't want to do these things, right? It's an outbreak of stupidity. That's great, Patricia Gunas. And and again, discernment. Like, if you're going to use it, be discerning. You can't check out. You can't just let AI be your brain. You have to use your brain, and when you do that, it's actually harder, maybe even harder work, because you're having to use your brain and then detangle or figure out what AI is suggesting and then use it. So anyway, yes. Um, yeah, what are you saying here, Bear's mom? You're an elementary middle school teacher, and there's no way I could see AI teaching children. Kids are so independent on teachers, are dependent on teachers just for not just for teaching. Well, you know, that would be because you're a really good teacher and a really good human, but the people who pay the bills only care about getting those dollars for each student. They don't care about, listen, these are people who want robots to take over. They don't care about people. They don't care about sentient human beings. They don't care about being human, basically, right? So you're right, though. You're 100% right. And that's why us sentient humans have to stand up and say something about this, and say teaching is more than a curriculum. You know, we've worked ourselves into a corner with the whole curriculum testing, And now we're just teaching to a test, and that's given them this pathway to just say, well, if we're just teaching to a test, then a robot can do it. Now, you and I know that's not true, but I'm just reading the energy, you guys. That's sort of where I feel like we might be going. And because we know about it now, we can fight really hard. We can get in there, we can run for school board, we can do things, and we can really be parent advocates for children. Even retired, grandparents can be advocates for children. One of the things I want to talk about is we really are turning the tide, and we can do this. We are doing it right now, and we can do it. We need to do it, but that means we have to stay involved. We have to stay plugged in. We have to stay aware, and we have to sort of also balance our energy so that we just don't become overwhelmed, right? It's a lot to do. So find allies, find groups so that you don't feel like you're the only one doing it, because that's not really going to work. Um, right, I know. And even more than that, you're all of those things and more. Amy says she's a teacher, a counselor, a parent, a Band-Aid provider, etc. You're also a first what do you call that? An automatic reporter. You're all those things. Look, you're all those things. I know you're all those things. And this is sort of why we're having this conversation as a country, because we're talking about, well, what is humanity? Are these humans that these thugs are just locking up and attacking? Do we care about humans? Are we willing to put our lives on the line? Are we willing to put our extra free time, our sanity, whatever it is? This is the conversation we're having right now. It's across the board. It's not just any one thing. Amanda says, does graphic design and product design get taken over by AI? Well, yes and no. It does, because I'm just reading the energy. You guys don't shoot the manager. What am I, manager? I'm not. They gave me a raise. I'm a manager now. I don't want to be manager. I'm like declining that raise or whatever it is, unless it's chocolate donuts. I haven't had a chocolate donut in so long, you guys. I would do a lot of things for a chocolate donut. Anyway, sorry. What was I even talking about? Right. AI messenger. One thing it can do is search huge amounts of data and then compile the data in such a way that it's manageable. And what the guides are saying, this could spot early trends. But it's not going to be correct, because just because humans are like schools of fish. How many times do the guides have to say that, right, to me? A school of fish darts this way, then they dart that way, and then they dart that way, and you don't know where they're going to go. And that's humans. So even though the data comes in and says, oh my God, there's going to be this new, huge new trend, and we need to get on it. It could be wrong. And that's where, again, you need a human to say, this is a false positive, right? So my point, Amanda, would be these people that are so greedy, they're going to sign on AI to do everything. This is what they're going to do. I'm just seeing it. And then they're going to find out that it crashes and burns and it does not work. And then they're going to go back to you and the teachers and, everybody, the doctors, the nurses, the attorneys, and the writers, and they're going to say, we need you. We screwed up. Right now, here's the beautiful part of this, right? Okay, here's the beautiful part of this. What I'm telling you all to do is to abandon the corporate Titanic that's sinking. If you can, read the room, but I mean, it's your job may not be that solid. So if they don't want you and they replace you with AI, what you all are going to do is you all are going to form your own groups. And these things are not built yet. This is in the future, but you're going to form these loosely connected groups that act as, I don't know what they are. It's not an LLC. It's like a community. And you're going to refer each other and you're going to protect each other. And this is probably online, kind of like a co-op in a sense. And you're going to take your wares to the people or to businesses that want to shop with you. Now, here's why this is important, because we don't want to shop with corporations. Look what we're doing to Target, McDonald's. How many corporations are we literally canceling right now? We're canceling them by the dozens. And these are not even corporations that are in the files. Plus, we're canceling corporations that are in the files. And we want to go to you wherever you are. We're going to look for you. We're going to find you. So the message over and over again has been, for at least 6 months, has been media's the the corporations, the institutions are going to crumble. They predicted that media would crumble. They predicted all of that. Um, it's still crumbling. It hasn't quite, fallen over the edge yet, but it is crumbling. And they predicted that people would go to the solopreneurs, that people would find you, and pay you a really good wage to work with them, because we're going to be so turned off by AI adjacent kind of things that we really just want to see the artist we're working with. We really want to see the designer. We're going to be in love with watching that designer design, right? So if you're any of these things, video what you do, video you doing the thing. That's that's like truth in reporting. You're like, I created this, right? That's what people are going to be searching for. So, yes, it's going to affect everything sort of negatively, but that's going to push everybody out to be doing their own thing. And that is the way forward. So when corporate comes back and tries to hire you, you're like, haha, here's my rate. I'm not working for you. Because the other thing that's going to happen is that because all this is kind of crumbling, insurance isn't going to want to insure us. They already don't. This is how we get to universal health care. If we can get to universal health care, then we don't need to work for corporations. The only reason we even look for a job at a corporation is to get health care. So once that's taken care of, we don't even need them anymore. So this is a whole reorientation of our society and our capitalism. It's not going to go away, but it's going to change dramatically. This is going to happen this month. It's not going to happen this year, but it is already beginning to happen. And it's going to happen this year, next year, and the next year. Okay. And I just want to say one thing that how that dovetails with that is that Life Touch. If you're a parent, you know who Life Touch is. Life Touch is one of the biggest school photographers in the country. It's worth over $1 billion. And guess what? The CEO, the head of it, whoever it is, some big muckety muck. Well, apparently, allegedly, he's in the files. Now, you have a guy who's in control of the biggest school. Well, I'm talking school, we're talking kindergarten, I'm talking elementary, all the way up to high school, probably into colleges, the biggest. And this guy is allegedly a perv, a pedo. Well, guess what? Even conservative school districts in Texas, this is real reporting I saw today, they are pulling out of Life Touch. They're not going to use Life Touch. Now, I got to say, cell phones killed photographers. Forget AI. Cell phones killed photographers. So you can't even find a photographer right now. It's very hard to find them, not the way you used to be able to find them, right? So finding a school photographer is going to be pretty difficult. So I see also transformation with that. You're going to see photo booths. People get in there and make their own photos. All this rigid stuff about yearbooks. Look, I was a photographer for 22 years. All this rigid stuff about everybody looking the same, and that's done. I'm wearing hot pink, y'all. We're in a whole new era now, right? So this is also transformation. Everything is transforming. Everything is transforming. All right. You ask a question, and here we go. AI is not going I'm going to tell y'all right now, it's not going anywhere. We just need to use it. We need to use it very judiciously. We need to use our discernment, and then it will find its place. Also, there will be better ways to use it as far as like the environment. We will also say you're not going to build this data center next to this, lower socioeconomic neighborhood, or you're not going to build it next to this sensitive environmental place, or you're not going to build it because it takes so much water. We are going to be able to shape all of this because we're all waking up. We're all waking up. You see it in Europe. They're waking up, they're going after these people. It's going to happen here too. The energy will not be stopped. Yes. So let's see what else is going on. Yeah, Bad Bunny was amazing, and it's just like Sinners and the guy that I can't think of his name right now that created the halftime show last year. These huge retrospectives, these huge metaphorical art pieces that show us what's really happening and what's been happening for generations in this country. I Those are bright spots. Those are shining lights. Just like in Europe where they're doing this work, where they're investigating people, those are shining lights. Help is coming. The light is coming towards us. Definitely. Yeah. All right, let's talk about I started some things. Let's see. Sue Ellen says, will there be any stopping of sending US dollars to offshore accounts? I don't know if you're talking about our fraudulent president attacking a ship and taking the money and sending it to an offshore account. I'm not sure if you're talking about our government fraudulently sending money to offshore accounts or just all the fraudulent people, including our government, that does that. And I'm gonna just say that there's going to be some real what are they saying? What is that? I can't get it exactly, but there was a law that was in on the books and it kind of got I think the teeth got taken out of it. But yes, we're going to add more laws. I don't There's always going to be robbers, there's always going to be crooks. There's always going to be that. Always. So they're always going to be trying new ways to take money out of our system. And I don't think we're ever going to solve that completely. But what we can do is we can create better guardrails around that, better laws around that, better reporting, just way FinCEN. That's what it is. FINCIN, financial something. That's the acronym. But we are going to address these things. It's going to take a little time. It's going to take a little time. And I just want to shout out to Daniela. I'm sorry you're having a hard time, dear. I'm just sending you love and light and big hugs, and know that we're sending you our best, our love, and I want you to be okay and take really good care of yourself. Okay, it's okay to be sad. It's okay to cry. God knows. Just know that you are loved, right? You are loved and you are worthy. Okay, take really good care of yourself. All right. And she posted that 25 minutes ago. So it's way up in the column of the comments. Um, all right. Let's talk about Guthrie. Oh boy. I haven't gotten into this because it's very complicated. When I go into the energy, it is not straightforward. It is layers and layers of ineptitude on top of criminal activity. So that's where you get it is very hard to know which part of this is an aptitude on the behalf of the local police or whoever they are, sheriffs, and then what part is that and what part is actually this criminal. Well, ineptitude is criminal, the guides are saying, right? So criminal ineptitude. So it's just, but it's hard to separate it all out. Okay, when I go into this energy, this does feel like, let me just look at it for a second. It does feel like, see, again, this there's layers, you got. It's not black and white. I cannot say that it's Cheeto. I can't say that it's this person. It's literally, you know how the guides used to say that we would find out that people were triple crossing people, right? This is what this feels like. It feels like, and in that way, it does feel like Cheeto is involved. Let's think about Butler for a minute. Okay, there's a kid that somehow got on a roof with all this gear, and people were pointing at the kid. There's videos. People are pointing at the kid, screaming, he's got a gun. Sheriffs, police are like, la, 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 not doing anything. Secret Service looking another direction. Are all these people complicit, or were they criminally deficient? So doing their job so bad that it was criminal. uh, Somebody clearly made it, some other person made it so this person got on radicalized him. Somebody radicalized him, somebody helped him get this and then helped him get that, and they were all different people, all perhaps working from the same direction, but they're multiple people with kind of each of them their own axe to grind. But there is a puppet master. Okay. That's why it's complicated. That's why it's so hard to figure it out. I would say to you that she is not in good shape. I know that people have asked about her medications, that apparently she needs medications to be able to live, to survive or be healthy. Um, she's not in a good shape. She's been either roughed up or hit in the head or something. Um, I I don't know. She can make it. She can make it. Something, again, her head, her face, her jaw, something like that. She can make it, but I don't know. I'm telling you guys, when I go into the energy, it's ineptitude. It's like the person who was hired to do the job did the job, but took her to the wrong place because they're an idiot, because criminals are idiots, and then lost her. And then somebody else found her and said, oh, we'll ransom her against this other person. This is what I'm saying. It just feels like layers and layers of criminality. Like if this person grabbed her and then another group got, just because they heard about it on the grapevine, that this was going down, and they thought it's like interception, a drug deal, right? This drug deal is going to go down, but you're not part of it, but you know about it, so you jump in and grab it because it's worth money. This is what it feels like to me. Like there's multiple people who've gotten involved in this just because it was so sloppy and so ridiculous. And that, who does that help? That helps the actual perpetrator because it's so complicated and stupid. It's like, well, this evidence looks like that, and that evidence looks like that. And it it's confusing for me as a psychic. So I just don't know what to tell you guys. It's not good. It does to me look like, if I can't draw a straight line to Cheeto, I can certainly get to Cheeto if I was doing a Rico case, because I could get a spider web and all the webs are eventually going to connect to him. Like in a way, how a lot of this stuff connects back to Easteen, maybe not directly, but it eventually comes back to him. Okay, so that's kind of what I would say about that. I'll flip over to the live comments and see what you guys are saying about it. We have 3,200 people here, so there's quite a lot of comments for me. I'm just scrolling and scrolling. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Oh, Kevin Lewis Medium is here. Hello, Kevin. Thank you for joining us. There might be a few tickets left. Oh no, there's no tickets left. Sorry. Sorry. He's doing a great retreat in Canada. I'm honored to be there, but it is sold out. But if you want to get on the waiting list, you can. Kevin Lewis's website. I'm super happy to be in Canada. If anybody wants to marry me up there, I am wearing hot pink. I'm desperate. I need chocolate donuts and I need a Canadian citizenship. Oh my God. They're going to watch this and they're going to be like, we're not even letting you in the country. Okay. Why would they grab her and then mess this up? I hope I described why, because it's not, the person who grabbed her is so inept that they parked her somewhere where somebody else could come in and grab her. It's like the drug deal gone bad. It's like, you are so inept. You got all this drugs equaling money. She equals money, and you put it in the wrong garage because you're a complete loser. And then the smarter crooks were like, ha ha ha, they put it in this garage and then they go get it. This is what I'm saying, right? Hopefully that makes sense. It is so complicated that it's just hard for the FBI. It's hard for everybody to find out where she is. I will say I'm not going to say too much because I already got 2 warnings that I need to be careful about what I say on YouTube, and I take that stuff very seriously. Seriously? So I will say that they are using, maybe I won't say that, they are using other people to find her in unique and interesting ways. You can put that together how you want to put that together. And I think those people are actually the only people who can solve this case because I don't think the sheriffs, the police, I don't think anybody's going to solve this case. I cannot guarantee you that she's going to come out of this healthy and alive, unfortunately. And I don't think that they will ever. I don't. Okay, they're changing it to there's a potential that they will find the perpetrators. There's a potential because it is a ring. It's a crime ring, and there's other people involved, and they're going to turn. They're going to turn. They're going to be like, I'm not going down for this. It was that guy. It was that person. Yeah, we're all looking for Canadians. Y'all need to start like a Canadian dating thing. Um yeah, 64 and 4 cats. Look at all these people. 64 and 4 cats. Wasn't easy. You had to stay there 5 years. No, this is what I'm saying. It's not. Canada has always been pretty clear about their, but they are hiring, they are bringing in a lot of medical personnel. So if you've got what they're looking for, they will bring you in. But yeah, it's not easy to do that. Zorro Ranch, God Lord have mercy. Do you guys know that the guy who got Zorro Ranch, I don't remember how he got it, but that guy is running for office in Texas. He got the ranch, and then his wife had the audacity to go to the county and dispute the taxes. Like, this isn't worth much. It's just a bunch of dead people. I can't get no money for this. I mean, really? The audacity of these people. So this guy went to Texas and he's running for some state office in Texas. I mean, so what would I say about Zorro Ranch? I would say that I've said this before. I'm pretty sure that they're going to have cadaver dogs. They're going to have that thing that I can't think of right now. That lidar, I think radar, but it's lidar, and they can discover graves or something like that. But these people were diabolical. We know that, right? Those of us that have read anything at all, you understand that these people are not. These are not idiots like 45 is an idiot. E was diabolical. So I don't think, okay, so here's what they're telling me. And again, I don't want to say too much. I don't know. I can't tell what I'm supposed to say and not say because I'm so used to sneaking behind the velvet ropes and just getting whatever I want to get that I don't even know anymore where I'm supposed to stay and. But I think that there were either limestone or some sort of like rock. I don't know what it's sediment. I don't know what it is. And they could be under there. Like think about a tunnel and under there. LIDAR, I don't think is going to pick that up. So I think I think they're going to find something. It actually will look like a big something to you and I, but it's the tip of the iceberg, the guides are saying. It's the tip of the iceberg. They will find something, but it will be, even though we think it's huge, it will not be huge because of this tunneling situation. But they will. This is a lot. This is like almost 10 years. I think they'll be doing this for 10 years. They'll be looking for these types of situations. Yeah. Yeah, it absolutely is related. It absolutely is related. It's related to Virginia Giuffre. It's related to the fact that her daughter, not Virginia's daughter, but the woman who's missing, her daughter is a journalist. They're seriously going after journalists right now. I mean, seriously going after journalists. Well, you saw Don Lemon, right? But I'm talking I'm talking more than arresting, okay? This really what happened is along the lines of what the guides said would happen months ago when they said the mob will send you the horse's head, right? The mob will off somebody like your servant, like your back in the day, like your housekeeper, like your groundskeeper, your pets. They'll do that to scare you into silence. We're not kidding. We're not playing. We will take out your family. And if you keep talking about it, we'll start taking them out. This is what's happening. It absolutely is connected to Cheeto. It's just that when I go into the energy, finding clear evidential streams is like a bowl of spaghetti. It's insane. It's making it harder for them to find things is what's happening. There you go. There you go. Someone found a culvert that goes into a mountain that has a big open chamber inside of it. Inside of it is oro. It's about tunnels. And remember that um, Elon has that tunneling company, and he's building tunnels everywhere. And there are tunnels everywhere. There's tunnels under Disney. There's tunnels. There's so many tunnels that we don't know about. And they're all used by these kinds of nefarious people. So it makes sense that he would use a tunnel to dispose of anything he wanted to dispose of. Yeah. That was in a local paper that in Santa Fe that Texas businessman running for office owns Epstein's Zorro Ranch in Santa Fe County. And Richardson, I think Governor Richardson, he's getting more and more, allegedly, he's getting more and more and more connected to Epstein. There are people coming out that say, I worked for whatever adjacent business, and I saw Richardson always with Epstein. He would always have private charter jets. All this stuff is coming out. It's like, the rot cannot be contained anymore, and it's just seeping to the surface all over the place. All over the place. Um, Shine the Light says, why was the airspace being shut down in El Paso for 10 days? I think this is the official statement, I think. But I got this from some military people, so I don't know if it is the official statement. But anyway, the military handed over the airspace for whatever it was, ICE or Homeland Security or one of those things under that umbrella, Border Patrol, to use these lasers. And they used them inappropriately. They shot down a balloon that they thought was something, and that scared the bejesus out of the air traffic controllers. And because the government would not give them any kind of clarity or assurances that they wouldn't do that again, they said, okay, then you leave us nothing to do but to shut down the airport. And I think the 10 days was to make so again, it goes back to everything the guide said about the robber barons, right? So the airport says, we're going to shut this down for 10 days. Now we all know that this airport, it's El Paso, it's a big city. It's not a small city. 170 flights a day. Do you think Southwest, Delta, American, Spirit, you think they're all just going to say, oh yeah, just fly over El Paso? What about all the people that are getting organs, right? What about the business? So, but I think the airline, the FAA, the airport did it because they're sick and tired of dealing with this BS, and they said, we can control the airspace, we'll shut it down. And the government didn't care. They're happy to do it because El Paso is a Democratic city, so that the government's like, rock on, shut it down. Then what happened was, this is what the guides have said, the robber barons got on the phone and said, stop this right now. And it was stopped. In hours, it was stopped. Because in the end, money talks and BS walks, right? But I will tell you that these kinds of tactics are going to continue, right? If he can't cow is the word, or if he can't cower, if he can't make these cities fall to their knees using the thugs, then he will shut off the water. I'm just telling you energetically, maybe he won't. This is just predictions for entertainment purposes only. He will do things, sabotage cities, because that is an easy way to shut down a city. This is why the guides continue to talk about water. It's not about getting water purification tablets. There's no water. There's no water. There's no electricity to get to the water. Okay, so whatever it is, shut down the airport. It's all about just messing with people, terrorizing people, making them so upset that that what they think is going to happen is they're going to say, "Look, just give him what he wants. Give him what he wants so we can go back to living our lives." That's what they think is going to happen. But we can see Minnesota showed them that's not what's going to happen. We're not going to cower. We're not going to bow down to you. So this is what he's finding out. This is the FAFO, right? He's finding out stage that Americans, that United States, USians, whatever we're called now, United States citizens, we're not easily controlled. And the robber barons want their money, right? Like, come on, this is silly. So that's kind of what I feel like happened there. I mean, some of that you can fact check me and you might say this is wrong. I'm reading the energy. However, whatever reason it was, doesn't matter. Whatever reason it was, it happened. And the reason it happened is because there was a threat. And the reason it happened is because the airport said, no, we cannot have you shoot down an airliner. And there was a standoff, and the robber barons won. You know, the money won. Hopefully that makes sense. I know. So you're going to see, JC, you're going to see that people will say that this sulfur, whatever it is, it's for clarifying water. I mean, honestly, again, these fact checkers crack me up, right? Because they're just trying to fit every circle into a box, into a square. You know what I mean? So, yeah, sure, maybe it does. I don't know. I don't know. But if you say it does, it does. But it can also dissolve bodies, right? So can't these two things be true at the same time, right? So just these things just drive me crazy when people are like, fact checking you. I'm like, well, my fact checkers are non-physical. So, you know what I mean? Good luck checking that, right? So, yes, I agree that that happened, and I agree that that was happening, but you still have to do something with that, what's left over. It 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 still is identifiable by a cadaver dog. It is still, there are identifiable things in that according to my spirit guides. There's DNA. I don't know. That's what they're saying. Again, we'll have to fact check them. Yeah, Governor, he's Richardson, he's dead, but I still have to say allegedly and for entertainment purposes only. Yes, they are digging in Nashville. They're digging everywhere. And I telling you, my guides give me the willies about that company, the boring company. They give me the willies, you guys. I think we're going to find things that are going through those tunnels that's going to just be absolutely just sickening, really sickening. Okay, the guides want to really talk about that all the time, the boring, and I've talked about it several times, but I just keep learning more and more tunnels that exist that I didn't know it exist. um Yeah, right, Allison. There's this picture of a hatch, a square cut out in the floor, and under there is Caribbean water, right? And then people are telling me, again, trying to explain it because we have to explain everything, right? Apparently, people are saying, "Oh, that's for water salinization." I'm like, that is there's no equipment. Where's your equipment? This is literally a hatch with water. Like, no, it could be a place where one of those mini submarines lands. It could be a place where you throw something, you get rid of something. I mean, yeah, it's bad. Apparently, people who lived in New Mexico knew to stay away from Richardson. The rest of the country, we did not get that memo, but apparently a lot of people did who lived there or had connection to him, unfortunately. But here we are. We have to Um, there, I know you all agree with me. There's no sacred cows. Like, we don't care who you are. If you're in the files or you're a pedo or whatever, you're out. You're out. We're going to cancel so many people. We're actually going to cancel people who are innocent because we're going to just take a broad brush, and it's going to be like, we can't, we don't want to discern. We don't want to be in this yucky energy, so nasty details. It's sort of like if you have a pile of caca and you dropped your ring in there and it was a ring from your ex, you're going to be like, yeah, it's gone. I don't really care. It was worth $400, but I don't really care. This is how we're going to be about people. I hate to say. We're going to get rid of some good people too, but it is just what we're just we can't, we don't want to, and we cannot deal with it, and we're going to throw the baby out with the bathwater, and we don't care. That's just what I see coming, right? Um, wow. Apparently, allegedly, Virginia said Richardson abused her. I believe that. I totally believe that. I really do believe it. I mean, tunnels are, Buckingham Palace. I mean, we're talking about a very old, you know, city, a very old kind of military or castle. I mean, it's been around, and tunnels were important, and I get it. But the United States is a big country to be having tunnels go across the country with no real reasoning. It's not like in up in the Northeast where a lot, or even in Montreal where they have tunnels because it's snowy for so long, right? People need to, or even in downtown Houston, there's tunnels because it's flooding or it's hot, and so the people work downtown can go to the different buildings, and those things make sense to me. Buckingham Palace, it makes sense to me. But a tunnel in Tennessee to wherever it goes, or a tunnel in Colorado, or a tunnel in Vegas, or in Florida, I mean, those things don't make sense to me. Really, they don't. Um, you've made it to a live. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. We're almost up to 4,000 now. Oh God, that's crazy. I believe it. Canadian airline and air transit has stopped their flights to the USA. I believe that. I mean, at some point, it's a safety issue. It's not even a moral issue. It's a safety issue. Can we be responsible, right, for our customers getting there? And the guides just said it's it really is a safety issue because if you come here in good faith and you have a Canadian passport, you should be able to visit. But we don't know that you can because we don't have any due process. We don't have any laws anymore. How many Canadians have been detained? And this is months and months ago, right? So this is where you're going to start seeing even more of this, right? Um, yeah, yeah. If you're new here, please hit the subscribe button. I really appreciate it. And don't forget, I have an online community for free. No kidding, you guys. No kidding. It's free. I pay the bill. Okay. We're getting to this place where, do we want to be on Meta? Do we want to be on Threads? Do we want to be on Facebook? Where do we go? I have a free community called Lighthouse Keepers Crew because the guides told me this was a year ago. The guides said, you're going to call it the Lighthouse Keepers Crew because lighthouses offer safe harbor to ships to come in out of the storm into that safe harbor. So I did it. So I have a free community. Thousands, 5,000 people are there. But I'm telling you, just come on, join us. There's no ads. I don't even advertise myself there. There's no ads. There's no thugs. There's no trolls. Your data is safe because it's a completely separate space. And you can go to my website, susanlynnmedium.com, and you can learn about it. I have a paid community too, where you can be with me and hang out with me and do all those things. But those are options for you. FYI. All right. Yeah, I don't even know. Disney built tunnels back in the 50s. Yeah, you guys, I know we've learned a lot that's been pretty scary, but it could be even a little bit scary. Um, Peter Thiel, Victoria Cleary says, will Peter Thiel's connection to Epstein be the thing that brings him down? I wish it was. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong about everything. I'm just a human trying to do spiritual stuff. So, but to me, it feels like it's finances, it's Rico, and it's finances. Um, they're having, they shouldn't be, but it seems like they're having a hard time bringing criminal charges against people that are in the files. I don't know why they're having a hard time. Well, oh, why? I know why. The guides are like, the DOJ is actually crooked. Oh, yeah, that's why. So I feel like a lot of these things are going to get, these people are going to get their prosecution from financial angles, because all of this is finances, right? I mean, how many people did the E guy pay off? That's money, right? It's all about the money. So I think it will, maybe it'll be connected to the E files from a money standpoint. But I think it's something else. I think there's something else brewing for him that is big, that is corporate, that is allegedly bad. I'm telling you, they're coming for all of us. So I'm just trying to stay on here as long as possible so I don't say too many bad things. But if I have to go, at least I have somewhere to go. That's why they made me do the membership. Years ago, they said, "Oh my God," they wouldn't stop talking about it. And I was like, I don't even know how to make a community, right? They said, "You need to make a community because you're going to need somewhere to go eventually." So I'm just trying to stay on here as long as I can. Um, PBS had something on why laser testing, no communication between FAA and local governments and the regime. Good name. But here's the thing I want you guys to not gloss over: 10 days. The FAA said 10 days, not like, oh, we'll shut it down for a couple hours until we get a reassurance. They said, we're not playing with you guys anymore. We'll shut this down for 10 days. It's like, that was a big deal. 10 days, that's like, we're not playing. We'll shut this thing down forever. We don't care anymore. That's where we are. We used to walk on eggshells. Don't make them mad. Let's try to get along. We want to keep our jobs, and now we're like, we don't even care. We don't even care about our jobs. We don't care about eggshells. We don't care anymore because we understand what's at risk is so much bigger than our jobs. What's at risk is our freedom, is our society, is our democracy. That's so sweet, Ember Glows Light. That's so sweet. Much love to you too. Take really, really good care of yourself. Oh God, here's a Bear's mom is back. Bear's mom is hot tonight, you guys. Bear's mom is hot, and I love that dog. Did Trump really have a Code Brown incident during the press interview the other day? Women behind him pinched her nose shut. Yes, he had a Code Brown. I'm so glad you called it a Code Brown, but yeah, it was bad. And it's true. He has these things. He doesn't care. He is the emperor with no clothes. He thinks he has clothes on, but he doesn't. Everybody knows he doesn't, right? It's like it's just so there. Um, yeah, I mean, I do. Look, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I think yes, they are doing these things. If these people, do I need to read this in case you're not watching the screen? People think that prison camps are forced organ extractions. Not all of them, but how many Native American women had their tubes tied without their knowledge or their permission? How many Black women had their tubes tied? How many Black men were tested and used as experimental subjects? If you don't think that our government will do that stuff to people, well, you better believe rich people will be like, you got a good kidney. I can get so much money for this, and I don't even care about you. Yes, all this is true. It's all true, you guys. I promise you it's all true. It's not the only reason that people were there. There are multiple players, and each player has their own reason for, like there could be a player that does nothing but harvesting organs, and then Epstein makes that deal with that person. This person wants that, and this person wants this. He had a whole business going on with all the different types of people that wanted all the different things. And he sold humans. We sold humans as slaves. This is what the United States has done. This is us going back to our shadow and fixing it. This is what the astrologers have been saying for so long. We're going to go back and start over again because the Constitution originally said, black people were not really humans, weren't counted. Women couldn't vote. Here we are going back to women aren't going to be able to vote. We're going all the way back to square one. So we can decide, do we want to be that country or do we want to be a better country? And we're deciding we want to be a better country. And that's why we're kicking these robber barons' asses right now. Okay, let me move on. The pink is making me spicy, you guys. You know, when will the people, reversed images said, is a good question. When will the people who can stop the mango baboon actually stop talking and do something? I'm exhausted and just want out. I know, believe me. I bet people in Minneapolis really, really want out, right? I mean, um, this is why I think that we're going to throw out some good people with some bad people because we are getting to a place where we're starting to look at even the good elected people and saying, you're not doing enough. We're going to get there. We're going to get there because we do not understand. No one is explaining to us. No one is explaining to us why they can't do something. I have said, and I truly, truly wish that this would happen. The guides have showed me Democrats sitting on the steps of Congress and just being uncomfortable and sleeping on them. If the monks can walk across half of the United States in the wintertime, then I really actually expect my electeds to be sitting outside of Congress proving, making some ramen noodles over a camp stove. I need to see you struggle. I need to see you show how much you care about me. If you're still getting tickets to the Met, if you're still doing the things while people in Minneapolis are like living under their couches, then we're not going to feel too good about you. Okay, I'm telling you right now. I'm just telling you it's not going to be pretty, right? So I would say to you, people like Tim Walz, he understands the law. He understands government function. He understands that the feds trump state. So if the feds want to wear masks, they can. If the feds want to grab somebody, our border laws are terrible. They've been terrible. They can stop you for any reason. There's not a lot of due process when it comes to the border patrol. They have they have more lax laws, rules. So when it gets down to it, it's really about the fact that our federal government has been taken over. And that federal government does not is not following the law, and they hold a higher rank over the cities and states. And listen to me carefully. If the city or the state enacted the National Guard and said, federal government cannot come in here and do this, even if they told their police department to stop ICE, that actually gets into the Insurrection Act because that is when the state stands against the government. If the state stands against the government, that is the trigger for the Insurrection Act. The Insurrection Act means, by law, by our Constitution, that then the orange fraudster could legally demand troops go into those cities and bomb, attack. And those troops, that's following orders, y'all. That's the Constitution. This is why I say Tim Walz is between a rock and a hard place. This is why all the states are between rocks and hard places. But nobody wants to explain this to anybody. And we don't know the Constitution. We don't know the law. We don't understand what is happening. And somebody, for the love of God, needs to sit down and start explaining it to us. And they also need to tell us what our remedies are. Okay, if that's not the case, then how can we fight this? What's left? Surely we have some sort of way left And the guides would say the courts and the judges. Now, the problem is the judges have been filled up by Mitch McConnell, for decades. Federal judges filled up to the brim with red Republican judges. And nobody wants to go against the orange cretin. Why? Because these red judges are also in the files. You can't even be in the thinking, in the selection process for an R, what I'm saying, an R office, be it a judge or something else, unless they have dirt on you. This is why the whole party is complicit. This is why the whole party was able to be taken over, because of the compromat, because they have dirt. And back in when we were innocent, the guide said we're going to lose our innocence. I didn't understand what they meant, but now I do. We thought it was golden showers. We thought it was Lindsey Graham wearing a dress. Now we know it's cannibalism. Now we know it's organ harvesting. Now we know it's mass murders and mass graves. Now we know it's, PEDO on a whole scale of an entire empire. Now we know. Those judges are complicit. You're asking why they're not standing up? Because they can't. Because they will be exposed. Now, let me tell you the good news. There's good news. The good news is that because these files are getting out regardless, right? Like this, what the guide said. The guide said, don't worry about the files coming out, because they're going to come out, because they're going to come out from every direction. The water, it's going to seep out in every direction. You cannot control this. It's not controllable. So here we have it, right? We have victims speaking out. We have Sasha Raleigh speaking out. We have Virginia Giuffre. We have these wonderful investigators in Europe combing through the files. So that's important, because if you're a person who's might be in the files, you're not even sure. Like, what if you're not sure? Like, I don't know, I did that thing, but I don't know if that person has it. I better just go along, right? So if you find out you're not in the files, then you can actually stand against the regime, because they don't have any dirt on you. If they have dirt on you, but it's coming out anyway, right? It's like blackmail is only valuable as long as it's somebody's controlling it. When everybody's got the blackmail, then what's the point of me doing what I said I would do for you? You didn't do what you said you would do for me. Now I'm exposed. Now I can expose you. That's the good news, because now the files are coming out in all kind of ways. These judges are going to start exposing each other. They're going to start exposing other people. They're going to start ruling in the right way. Because if you're at a truth commission, if you're at is there a Warren Commission? Anyway, if you're at some sort of tribunal and you say, yes, I did these things, but have leniency on me because I also ruled, I realized the error of my ways, and I ruled like this, and that ruling saved lives. They're going to start acting so that they can cover their butts, so that they can beg for leniency. So this is where we're going, right? So I hope that all makes sense. Let me see what the comments are. God only knows what you're saying in the comments. You're probably screaming at the screen. Warren Commission, Watergate. Okay, I didn't know. They said Warren Commission. Yeah, Thomas is in there. We're too close to see it. That's true, Joyce. We're in it. Plus, honestly, we believe that whole American, brilliance BS, right? Like, we believed in apple pie and the 4th of July. And, if you're not white, you didn't believe in it, because you live it. You live that life. You understand what it's like to be, the guides are saying, a second-class citizen in this country. But white people are like, oh, this is terrible. We're getting treated terribly, right? This is our time, our turn to learn how bad it is. We're the last group of people that need to wake up and need to fight for everybody. It's all incumbent on us to wake up and fight back. Yeah, there's copies of the files everywhere, Janie. Again, when I say the files, we're talking about it like it's a book, right? And it's just the book. But it's not just a book. It's 100 books. It's 100 versions of the book, right? It's that's why they can't contain it. Because maybe he had his accounting, but this guy that was doing this business, well, he had his book with all his people, right? So there's every business that worked with E has their own books. So you get this group, and then you're connecting to these groups who connect you to these groups. So it's impossible. It's everywhere. Truly, it is. Um, oh boy, that sounds good. Uh, I don't know. Gail Erickson said, "What will happen to the new bridge built by Canada for trade with U.S.?" I mean, it doesn't look like it's confusing. The energy is confusing. So it doesn't look like it's blown up. It doesn't look like it's left to be disrepair. It looks frozen. It looks like there is some trade, but it's not what it should be. I mean, the question might be, maybe that is your question actually. What will happen in the future? Like maybe 5 years down the road? 5 years down the road, there is trade. But I'm going to be honest with you guys. America, the United States is going into a sort of a very slow economic time because while we're over here trying to be monsters, Canada has to move on. Mexico has to move on. And they're going and work making deals with other countries, not us. Europe making deals with other countries, not us. So that bridge can be open. But the trade between our countries is going to be maybe half, maybe even a tenth. I don't want to say that, but the guides are saying that the trade between our countries could get shrunk to a tenth of what it is. Now you can extrapolate your own self what that might mean for American jobs. That's why I'm telling you we're going to go through a pretty tight economic time. You know, the guide said last year that Americans were going to become more isolationists, and we have, and it's not good for the bottom line. It's not good for anything, period. It's not good for our psyches. It's not good for our social structure. It's not good for our bank accounts. It's just not good. But that's where we are. 41:14. All right, let's see, what else are we going to talk about? What time is it? um yeah, so Peekaboo says, will the Easting survivors be okay after they were doxxed? Not really. I mean, they're going to go into hiding. These people, these victims have dealt with this. I mean, I would say if anybody knows what these cretins are capable of, it's them, right? So they know what they're dealing with. They know more than us how to maneuver that. But I don't know that they're going to be okay. We're in this place. Okay, let's talk about this. We're in this place where, and this is also for Minneapolis. And for some reason it's for Minneapolis and for this situation that we're talking about with all of the survivors. You know, when you have something, it's going to hurt worse coming out than it went when it happened. Okay, so when two or three analogies. One would be that when a military withdraws, they don't just walk away. They don't just get in their tanks and drive off. They blow up everything on the way out. Okay. So everything, as the R's, and they withdraw, they lose. As they withdraw from Minneapolis, as they withdraw from our society or from power, they're going to blow up everything. It's going to hurt worse coming out of this than it was going in. I'm sorry to say it, but forewarned is forearmed. So that's what they're saying also about this. These people, they're at risk because as these people run, as these people withdraw, as these people fight, like fighting as they're backing up, right? They're going to try to leave damage behind them. Um, Julie S. Rose, you know the answer to this question, right? I wonder if Mr. Tesla has found people in the detention camps to test his brain implant. I the guide said this months ago, eugenics. They said this months ago, and now people are starting to talk about it. These people use humans as guinea pigs. We just talked about it, right? And yes, absolutely. He wanted to test this uh, implant thing, the chip. He wanted to test it in the military. Everything gets tested in the military first, truly. So, and I think that if you Google it, you're going to find that there are or have been some things like that, because in the military, it's like, well, if you have, let's just call it a smartwatch. So it's not implanted in you, but it's a smartwatch. And you have a smartwatch on, and you're in infantry and you're on the front line. The medics at some other place are going to know that you had a concussion. They're going to know that you're bleeding. They're going to know that your heart rate. It is helpful. This is what I mean about AI. You can't just throw it out. You just have to be smart about it. That's smart, right? Instead of sending a medic out there, the medic now knows what they're going to be dealing with because they know in real time what that soldier is experiencing, right? So in a way, yeah, these things can be helpful, but he wanted to put this in every single military person. And it didn't happen. And I don't even know why it didn't happen, because generally speaking, the military is like, we own all these people, so you can just do whatever you want with them. Crazy. Crazy, but again, our history has kind of been that way. Yeah, right. So there you go. This is a common military thing. Sharon says her mom is Austrian. The Germans destroyed everything in Austria before they left. This is a common military thing. And it feels like that's the energy of this. As they withdraw from Minneapolis, they're going to cause pain and suffering because they're suckers and losers. You know how 45 called our military suckers and losers. These people are truly the suckers and losers because everything he says is a confession. Every accusation is a confession, right? All right. Let's do a little bit more here. Scorched earth policy. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Darvo. Exactly. Oh boy, I didn't even know this was happening. What was the true purpose of Hog's Breath and Rump at Camp David today? Well, the guide said that they would not be using the White House, that they would be using Camp David. Like they said this, I don't even know, months ago. So it's not a surprise to me that they were at Camp David. Here's the thing: Camp David is not bugged. And when I say bugged for entertainment purpose only, I'm not talking about I'm I'm not talking about somebody snuck into the White House and planted bugs. I'm saying that the White House allowed bugs to be planted in there because they are for the puppet master. The puppet master has to has to be able to watch. You know, that's his asset. We need to make sure you're doing the right things. We need to, we're going to watch you. So, what I'm getting energetically is he went to Camp David because he wanted to talk about things without the puppet master knowing. Now, what was he talking about? Surprise. He wanted the element of surprise. Again, so not, I don't want everybody to know what's happening. Also, the same reason that Vance traveled to the Olympics with a whole plane full of food because he's afraid of being poisoned. Well, it's the same thing. They don't trust anybody. Every time I go into the White House, I get this sense that all the staff, whoever the staff are, I'm talking about the staff that take care of the house, the chefs, they don't trust any of them. They don't trust them. They don't trust the bugs that are there. So yeah, they're over there at Camp David. And eventually he's going to do more work at Camp David or at Mar-a-Lago and less and less at the White House, because I keep seeing the White House being empty. But he's talking about the element of surprise. Um, Again, you have two of the dumbest people on earth with the best military on earth, at their disposal. What could happen? So it could have something to do with Iran or Cuba. I really feel like he really, he's got a thing about Cuba. He's just not going to let that go. Um, See, same thing. He's got a thing about Venezuela and Cuba for real, and Greenland. Like those three places are his personal. Like it's just, it's like an addiction. Like when you go into his energy, it's like he wants it so bad. Now, Iran is a deal. I'm just telling you what I'm getting. Maybe I'm wrong, but it feels like a deal with other countries. He's making a deal with other countries, and maybe he doesn't want some countries to know, and that's why he's at Camp David. I can't really talk. I can't really go into details because I'm just like, right. Life touches school photographs. Exactly. I think they will. So this is a great question. It'd be great if the survivors would be able to make a dictated record, much like was done for the Holocaust survivors. That needs to be pure record keeping of the crimes. Listen, okay, here's what the guide showed me. Are you all familiar with Maria Farmer? Are you familiar with Maria Farmer? It don't look if you don't even Google it if you don't want to know about it, okay? But she was a victim and she did these paintings, and more of her paintings are coming out. And a painting I saw today was supposedly showed Megan McCain. Look, she doesn't say this is Megan McCain. She just does these paintings. Okay? They're crude, they're explicit, they're horrible, but people look at it and they try to figure out who's in the painting. And this picture looks like Megan McCain. And then somebody dug around on Google, and here's a picture of Megan McCain wearing exactly the same outfit. It's a very specific outfit. It's not just like a black dress. It's a very specific outfit. And she wore that outfit at a very specific time. And that feels to me like it's connected. So, what I'm trying to say is here's Maria Farmer with all of her paintings. Here is Giuffre with her book. There are accountings. There are here's Sasha Raleigh with his count. There are going to be public renditions of what happened. There will be. Of course, we'll lose some. Of course, I'm sure many were lost. Many were lost, but there will be some. And again, I don't even know how these paintings are coming to the. I don't even know how they're getting released that Maria Farmer has made. I don't know. It's what I'm saying. The energy is just coming out. You can't stop it. You literally cannot stop it. If anybody could stop it, billionaires would stop it. They can't even stop it. Supreme Court, royalty cannot stop it. No one can stop it. It's coming out. And it'll continue to come out until we own it, until we tip over to the consciousness of empathy and compassion and awareness and understanding, and we start standing up and protecting for people who cannot protect themselves. Yeah, I agree. Dark magic. Trump and Melania allegedly practice dark magic. So does Peter Thiel. So does all of them. I'm not going to talk anymore about that either. Whew. The media has fallen. It fell. I'm sorry to say. I know some of you might disagree with me, but it fell years ago. I was a diehard New York Times fan, diehard. And when Matt Taibbi, when he started doing weird things, like I'm like, wait a minute, this is off. At first he was just writing these amazing articles, and then his writing was off. And then, oh, hold on. Okay. My dog was barking, and she has specific barks for certain things. And she was giving me kind of a warning bark. So let me just call her. If she doesn't come in, I might cut this short. I mean, we're at an hour and 20 minutes, so we've done a pretty good job so far. Um, so yeah. The media has fallen, 100% it's fallen. But that's why Don Lemon went independent. That's why Joyanne Reed went independent. That's why we have all these independent journalists. And that's important. This is what the guides keep saying. The corporations, come here, the corporations are going to uh dissolve. They're going to dissolve. And um, then we're going to do the thing. We're going to do the independent thing that we do. We're going to carry on without them. That's that's the key here. We're going to grab each other, become a community, and carry on. Yeah. Oh yeah. I'll try to do a video about the crystals I got from the gemstone from the Tucson. Yeah. Yeah, Rachel Maddow probably does need to go independent, but right now she's got support and she's got a really big audience. And as long as she's got her audience and she's able to say the things she wants to say, you know, it's kind of like Stephen Colbert, right? He's still got his audience, right? Come here, come here, stay with me. Yeah. My arm is getting pulled off. Um, That's why I'm leaning over. I'm like, yeah, I know a bark of warning is important. It really is. She never barks. So she has a very specific bark for different things. So I know what those are. Yeah, Katie Fang is another one who went independent, right? So that was important. Um, right. So we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it together. All of this stuff that's happening is happening for a reason, and it's important. And I know it feels unsafe and like we're melting, but what's happening is our light is going to be there, right? They can't take away our soul light. This is what's happening. We realize we're not monsters, and we know who the monsters are, and it's becoming clearer and clearer and clearer every single day who's the monster and who's not the monster, right? Yes, thank you, Beth Blueberg. Yeah, please hit the like button. Yeah, ECM, Elizabeth Cronies McLaughlin is I've shouted her out before. She's a lawyer who really explains the law, and that is helpful. So she's on YouTube, she's on Blue Sky. I don't know where else she's on, but it's important. And there's Jay, I can't remember her name, but on Threads, there's a couple of lawyers that break it down. Find the lawyers and help, or research yourself, right? Because I think sometimes we get so mad about things when in reality these people, maybe they can't do anything or maybe they can, but it's upon us to figure out whether they can or can't. And frankly, they should tell us. The electeds should tell us. They should say, I can't do it or I can do it. Right? That's what they should be doing. They should sit down with us and say, here's where we are. Here's why I can't do anything. And I'm just going to say that I'm not seeing that in clear, plain English. Maybe you guys have seen it, but I have not seen it. Usually AOC is very good about that, but for some reason, it just feels like nobody's being very clear with us. And I don't know if it's because they don't want to tell us the truth, right? If they don't want to say that we're screwed, that the government is taken over and we don't have any options, or they don't want to say that, hey, we're working behind the scenes and we're really doing things and we can't tell you what those are, but we really are doing things, right? I don't know what the reason is. It could be the latter. It could be that, hey, we're working really hard on in the dark over here and we don't want to let people know what we're doing, so we just have to you think we're not doing anything when in reality we're doing everything. We're just doing it on the down low. which is what we have to do right now, right? So it's just a confusing time. Yeah, Mark Elias. There's people out there that will um, help you understand this. I think the progressives are already starting to win. I mean, we're winning races that are very red, right? Again, and this is the last thing I say, I think I am going to have to sign off here, is that what I want us to be aware of is the deal that's made. Your representative, whether that's a Democrat, a conservative, or a progressive Democrat, you need to be riding their butts because there's going to be a deal made here. And I want the deal to be everything. We get everything. We get universal health care. We get DEI. We get rights for Native Americans. We get rights for the environment. I want my entire wish list to be fulfilled. 100% free medical care. You put us through this, we want these things in return. If you're going to make a deal with the devil, then the devil's going to pay us back for all the harm that they've done for us, not in the last year, but in the last 250 years, right? That's where we're going next. Yeah, I get that bark again. ECM is Elise Cronis McLaughlin. That's in the chat. Somebody will also share it again. Free college trade show, all the things, all the things. That's why I tell you guys, make your list. Make your list. If we don't know what we want, we only get one chance to sit down at this table. We need to hammer them, and hammer them for sure. Yeah. Just think about it. Think about what you want, because that's how we get it. That's how you manifest things. If you get in the car and start driving and you don't know where you're going to go, you don't get there. We need to apply that to everything in our lives. That's manifesting, right? Yeah, I need to really go check the bark. I'm kind of concerned about it. I'm sure it's fine. She might have like a possum or something cornered, but it wouldn't be good for the possum. It wouldn't be good for me. So I need to just go check that out. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. Really appreciate you all. Take really good care of yourselves and have a good Valentine's Day. Do something nice for you. If you're in a relationship and nothing is being done for you, that's a message for you. Do something nice for you yourself. How we get out of this is love for yourself. That's important. It's just as important. That's shining our light, right? Okay, everybody, take really good care. And I'll see you guys before next Friday online and recorded video. But if not, I'll see you next Friday. I probably have some live videos scheduled next week. But take really good care of yourselves, okay? Thank you all for being so kind to each other. Thank you guys for supporting each other. Thank you for just everything that you do. And we're going to get through this together. All right. All right. Good night, everybody. Take good care.